Hi, Leela Viss here, and I'm going to show you how I make a digital badge board. I'm going to my Google Drive. If you don't know what Google Drive is, take a look, go Google it, and get yourself set up with Google Docs, and then you're going to want a drive to store your docs. All right, so I'm going to click on New here, and I'm going to go to just a Google Docs right there. And now the important thing is you want a digital badge board to be big enough so that you have room for all the categories that you want and also for your students. So the very first thing to do is go to File and then go up to, sorry, I got to move this just a little bit. File and Page Setup right here. And when you go to Page Setup, it's on letter, change it to tabloid, 11 by 17. And then you have a choice. You can do portrait or landscape, depending on how many categories you have and how many students. I'm going to go with landscape. Now, if you need a lot of room, which I did for the 40-piece challenge, I made this top margin really, really small. I'm just going to keep at 1 today, but you can change those top and bottom margins, and that's going to give you a lot more space. And you can also add in color on your page if you want. So let's see, I'm getting this out of the way here a minute. You can add a color if you want. I usually choose not to, just because I want the badges to stand out. So now I've got my page set, click OK. And now I've got a big, huge page that I can add different things into. So I'm going to insert a table. And I'm going to insert one that has 8 columns. And it's always hard to know exactly how many are going to fit on a page. So you can always add more. So I'm going to make a table about like that. And now the next thing is you want to label it. So I just click outside the table and I'm just going to call this Digital Badge Board. And of course, you can do whatever you want with this area. And you can name different groups if you want to separate people. Now, I like to highlight that and then maybe make it a little bit bigger. You don't want it to take up too much room, and then you can choose from all different kinds of fonts. How about we try this one? And you can always make it bold so that it stands out just a little bit more. And then this very first category right here, I call badge owner. So that's where you're going to put your student's name. And I'm just going to write name down here. And if you want to, you can center those. So I go up here and I can center. Okay, so now everything's center. And it may be that you want this highlighted and even bigger. And your badges are going to take some room anyway. So you can make that just a little bit bigger if you want. And of course, you probably want to match your fonts. So you can do all that kind of stuff just to make it look as nice as possible. All right, now the next thing is to add your badges. And we're going to add the colored badges right to the top row there. And I have a folder open on my desktop with different badges. And actually, this is a major scale board. So I'm going to add the badges in. So there's C. And then let's see, I'm not going to worry about order right now. I would be usually, but I don't want to use up too much time. So I'm just going to move all of these scales into place. F, and got to move this over just a little bit more, make sure I have them all. Oh, now if that happens, let me show you a secret. Just hit Command Z. And that will get rid of it. Aha. Okay. So Command Z on Macs, that is your best friend. Makes life so much easier when you can just reverse something. Oh, and I need one in, let's see, do I have D major? Yes, I have C, D, G, F. Ooh, I better add A. I probably would change the order of this just a little bit. Uh-oh. Let's try A again in here. There we go. Okay, and then I made a special one. I have 7 scales, but I made a special one that I'm going to add at the end, which I have on my, oh, there it is. It's on my desktop. Okay, I got a whoop. There you go. So there's my badges. Now they're awfully big, and that's okay. Maybe you want to keep them that way, but if you have lots of students and want to have more room, Then what I would suggest doing is notice I clicked on the image right here. And then when I hit the corner right there, or when I drag that corner, it makes it smaller. Now, let me show you a way to make them all small and make them the same size. So then what you want to do is there's these three little buttons right here, image options. And when I click on that image options, then it opens up this side menu, and I'm going to go to size and rotation. And this is where you can just make everything exactly the same. So I'm going to make these 9 square like that. And then I'm going to call that good. And now same thing. I'm going to go to the size and rotation. And right now, I'm going to make this 0.9. And see how it just changes it right away to the exact size that you want. You're not guessing. I'll continue to do this so that you can see 9 and 0.9. Next one. And the last one. Always make the last one bigger, I guess, if you wanted to, but that way your table looks good. Now they're all to one side, so let's do this once. Let's swipe along the top right there. And now I'm going to go up here and we're going to align to the center. Ah, that's better. Okay. Now that's pretty much the way I want it. I think I'm going to put badge owner right here. Now, if you wanted to, you could fill in this area with color if you want to. So I'll show you what you can do. Just highlight all of that. And then you go over to here and you can add in a background color. I probably wouldn't do that because I like to see the color of the badges. But what you could do instead is, let me move this out of the way again, you could change this and make these all a certain color. And really it's up to you what color you want to make them. I'll just make them a nice, I like teal. There we go. Something like that. Maybe it's a little bit too dark, but totally up to you. And you can always change that around. Now here is the important thing to do next. What you want to do is have that image right there. And then you want to, there's a couple of different ways you can do this. You can do edit and then copy, and then edit and paste. Now that's a really slow way. A faster way is to select the item that you want to copy. And then I do a Command C, and then I click in here and a Command V. And that goes really fast. So Command C, Command V. So basically what you do is you want to copy all of these into the next row. And then I'll show you what you need to do next. Keep going across. And sometimes you have to close this, then you got more space. Okay, and then we got the last one right there. Now, here is what makes digital badge boards so cool, is I'm going to click on this image again, and when I go to those 3 dots and image options, then when I go down here to recolor, there's all different options. So that's what's fun too, is if you didn't want to do a grayscale, you could do something else too. There's all different ways to recolor these. I'm just going to make a grayscale. So again, recolor and grayscale. Keep going. Hopefully you're doing this right along with me and can see how it works yourself. Just got a few more to do. Oops, wrong one. Okay, and here we go. Last one. There. Now you've got all your badges in grayscale, and then this is the time where you can copy and paste them onto the next row. Now your name may want to be a little bit more centered, and that's a pretty big place for a name, so you could maybe even make it a little bit bigger if you wanted to. up to you. But now I'm going to select all of these rows. Select all those columns, so that row, and then I'm going to do Command Z to copy them, and then go back here, and then Command V, and there you have it. Now you can just keep going and copy and paste, and you can add all the rows that you want to until you run out of space on this page. And you can always add another row. So here it says Insert Row Below. And then so all I do is just click in that. Actually, I right click and then Insert Row Below. You can also do that up in the screen up here. Up in the menu, Insert, and then you can add more rows. Where did that go? So you got to go to Table. There you go. Okay, so Format, Table, and then you can insert row below. So that's another way that you can do that same exact thing. So once you get all the rows that you want, you pretty much have your board all set to go. Here's one other thing that you can consider doing just to make it a little bit more celebratory, and that is select this last column. And oopsie, don't want to do that. Command Z. And select it all. Oops, I went into the next page here. And then you can go to this area right here. And let's add a cool border, a little bit fatter border. So we can use black, but we can also use a fun color like red. And then over here, you can make it wider. So that's our ultimate goal. So that's just a fun way to highlight it. And that's what I did in my 40-piece challenge. So if you're interested in learning how to make the badges, I make them in Canva, and that is included in my first resource that includes a number of different digital badge boards, and that will have a video of how I make badges in Canva. Okay, happy making your first digital badge board.